Welcome to The Explainer. We hear the term digital transformation all the time, but what does it really mean? It's not just about fancy tech. Really, it's about survival. Today, we're going to break down a powerful framework that cuts right through the noise, uncovering the hidden hurdles that trip most people up, and revealing the core behaviors that really separate the winners from everyone else. So, the framework we're diving into today comes from the work of Professor Gomari Abdel Samad Reda from Algeria's National School of Computer Science. And his core argument? It's pretty simple, actually. Digital transformation isn't a choice anymore. It's the essential reality for any organization that wants to be around tomorrow. All right, so here's the game plan. First, we'll get a handle on this new digital world we're all living in. Then, we'll dig into the three big hurdles that stop most transformations dead in their tracks. After that, we'll pivot to the three winning behaviors that actually drive success, and we'll wrap it all up with a clear roadmap you can use on your own journey. So what world are we really operating in? Well, the research we're looking at points to these massive, interconnected forces. And look, these aren't just little trends. Think of them more like tidal waves of change that are creating completely new challenges and, of course, new opportunities. Yeah, it's not just one single thing. It's like this perfect storm of change all hitting at once. You've got whole new economic models popping up, like the sharing and circular economies. Then there's this absolute explosion of new tech, AI, big data, the cloud, you name it, that's changing what's even possible. All of this puts a huge new value on data and knowledge, and that forces organizations to get more virtual, more modular, and to demand a workforce that's all in on lifelong learning. But with massive change comes massive friction. So what are the real-world hurdles that actually trip companies up? The paper we're looking at really zeroes in on three critical obstacles that we have to understand if we're ever going to get past them. Okay, hurdle number one, and it's a big one, the digital divide. And honestly, the scale of it is just staggering. If you look at the data from the International Telecommunication Union for 2023, you see internet usage in places like Europe and the Americas is way up there, almost 90%. But in Africa, it's just 37%. I mean, that is a massive gap. But here's the thing, right? The divide isn't just about whether you have an internet connection or not. It really has two faces. The first is a gap in access, because of bad infrastructure or high costs. But the second, and maybe more subtle, is a gap in use, a lack of the skills or the knowledge to really take advantage of the technology, even if you can get online. So the big question is, how do we fix this? Well, it's definitely not a one-person job. It takes a truly coordinated effort. Governments have to step up and invest in infrastructure and smart policies. Companies need to improve networks and make them more affordable. Our education systems have to build digital skills right from the start. And all of us, as citizens, play a role in driving engagement. All right, hurdle number two. This is one you've probably felt yourself. Our laws just can't keep up with technology. The pace of change is just too fast. And this creates a total minefield of risks around things like data privacy, e-commerce, and intellectual property, leaving both businesses and regular people pretty exposed. That legal minefield leads us right into our third hurdle, cybersecurity. And the cost to defend ourselves is, well, it's astronomical. Just look at this number. According to the research firm IDC, the global market for security software alone hit a mind-blowing $17.6 billion in 2023, and it's still growing at over 5% a year. And listen, you can't just throw money and software at this problem and hope it goes away. This isn't a tech problem. It's fundamentally a human one. It requires constant collaboration, raising awareness for everybody, and continuously training our employees. It also means we need better communication between law enforcement and a real focus on protecting the most vulnerable among us online. Okay, so we've mapped out the new landscape and we've stared down the major hurdles. But understanding the problem is just the first step, right? So now let's pivot to the solution. What are the specific winning behaviors that successful organizations use to navigate all this chaos and actually come out on top? Okay, the very first winning behavior, you have to be brutally honest about where you are right now. This 5-level model is a great way to think about it. So where are you on this spectrum? Are you just a level 1 with a basic website? Or have you made it all the way to level 5, where you're using data to constantly get better? You can't figure out where you're going until you know exactly where you stand. Now, for businesses, the paper highlights this really cool concept from MIT. The goal is to become what they call the digerati. And being a digerati isn't just about having the latest apps. It's about reaching this state of true, deep understanding, where you have both the vision and the skills to create real strategic value from your digital efforts. That's the end game. So once you know where you are, what's next? Well, the second winning behavior is moving from that assessment into action. And you do that by building a roadmap that's clear, that's comprehensive, and this is key, that everyone is a part of. And that roadmap, it's built on three, brutally simple questions. The first one is the big one. What's our vision? Seriously, where are we trying to go? Then comes question number two, and this one requires some real honesty. Where are we right now? What are our actual capabilities and limitations today? And finally, the third question, which is so often missed. How will we actually know when we've gotten there? You have to define what success looks like, in measurable terms, before you even start. And that brings us to the third winning behavior. And honestly, this might be the most important one of all. You have to build a culture of continuous, lifelong learning. It has to be embedded in everything you do. Technology changes, markets change. The only advantage that lasts is the ability to learn and adapt faster than everyone else. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. The challenges, the winning behaviors. How do we put this all into practice? Let's boil this all down into some clear, actionable advice for any organization, whether you're a business or in public service, that's ready to tackle this. Look, if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. The core message here is crystal clear. Real successful transformation, it's not about the tech. It's about your strategy and it's about your people. It all starts with a shared vision that everybody, and I mean everybody, buys into. It's about empowering your talented people to lead the charge. It's about unifying your efforts so you're not wasting time and money. And it's about measuring everything so you know you're creating real value. Ultimately, it's about fostering innovation. And that really leaves us with one final, powerful question to think about. In a world where knowledge and innovation are basically the new currency, the only question left for all of us to answer is this: what are you going to build?